Hi HPC, morning, hope you're doing all right. I hope also you've had a chance to read the reflection this morning. If you haven't, do please pause this and go and do that. I didn't spot it. I wonder if you did. I've never spotted it, if the truth be told. I wonder if you had seen it. I don't know how many times I have read Luke chapter 2, including verses 7 and 12, which David Mathis particularly talks about, but I had never seen the link with Luke chapter 24. Maybe it's just too big a step. Maybe it isn't a connection that Luke wants us to make. Or maybe he wants us to read the gospel looking at the God-man Jesus who was swaddled for us twice. Once at his birth and once at his death. Although, of course, the focus of Luke chapter 24 is not on his death, is it? It's on his resurrection. You would have probably heard the fact that the cloths were still in the tomb, used to explain why the idea that you sometimes hear that Jesus' resurrection can be explained away by the fact that grave robbers broke in and stole the body, why that is complete nonsense. There was no trade in dead bodies in first century Israel because there were no budding doctors wanting to give anatomy lectures like there were in 19th century Edinburgh, when Burke and Hare, the so-called resurrection men, went around both murdering people and selling their bodies and digging up recently buried people and selling their bodies. So if you had broken into Jesus' tomb, and it's a big if, because you would have first had to overpower the Roman soldiers, but if you'd done it, the reason you'd be doing it would be to get something valuable from the tomb. And of course, Luke records that the body wasn't there, but that the grave cloths were. In other words, if a thief had come into that tomb, they were terribly inept because they'd stolen the only thing in the tomb that was of no value, the body, and they left the only thing that was of any value, the cloths. But here Mathis is wanting to highlight for us how Luke lays a little breadcrumb trail for us, showing us the utterly ordinary nature of Jesus and the utterly extraordinary nature of Jesus. Here is God, born as a man, wrapped in swaddling cloths, just like every other child born that night. And here is God, resurrected as a man, rising through grave cloths, never to die again. Ordinary, extraordinary. Isn't that quite a good summary of the life of Jesus? Isn't that something we've seen already in our journey through Christmas? Listen to how Mathis puts it. I think it's great stuff. The infant in the manger would not stay swaddled, and his crucified body would not stay dead. He entered into the swaddled, bounded, frail and fragile reality of our humanness, and carried us with him, even in our finitude, into the boundlessness of eternity and the coming of a new world. He's not dead, he's risen. The one who was, like us, swaddled, is now the human king of the universe. Still, it all began with such mildness and meekness. The one who would come from heaven to save us had to be truly us. The one who would pioneer our way into the very presence of God had to be like us in every respect except sin. And so we marvel at both the normalcy of his swaddled humanity and that whisper of that unusual manger in this singular child of Christmas. Have a really good day, HPC, marvelling at this child.